I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about helping our clients build their legacy plan. As you think of our goals as advisors, it's really to help our clients create that roadmap that they need to, have their planning, get their planning started, make sure it stays in force and accomplishes all of their goals. But this plan, as you think about building this plan out, I'm amazed at how many clients and professionals, as I talk to various people, um, talk about one and done planning. They talk about planning in a vacuum. They don't talk about that. This is an ongoing planning cycle. We have to make sure our clients understand that, as advisors, we don't do one and done planning. We're there to help them uncover all their wants, their goals, their needs. But to do this, if you really think about the life cycle of our clients, things are going to change. We may talk to somebody today that's just got out of college. Their goals and objectives are going to be different than they're going to be after they get married, have kids, start their business, retire. All of these different changes in their life are going to affect their plan. And as we, as advisors, if we keep that relationship with our client over those years, we're going to have to help them update and review and revise as they go along to make sure that we're always making sure their plan is up to date. The other thing is we have all of the outside factors that affect them as well, whether it's, taxes, asset protection, all of those outside environmental kind of factors that are going to affect their planning as well. So helping our clients understand this is a planning cycle, not one and done, is going to make sure that we're on the right track. As we take our clients down this journey, the journey starts with understanding our clients' goals, making sure this planning is based off of what they're trying to accomplish. I was recently in a planning meeting. It was a group of professionals, and we were reviewing a sample case. And it was interesting to see everybody just jump into this sample case and talk about all of the solutions that they could see. But the one thing I realized, nobody stopped to ask the question, what does the client want to accomplish? What are their goals and objectives? They had all of these wonderful solutions. They didn't know if that was really the problem or that they needed to solve. So as you start looking at this and taking your clients down this journey, understand what your clients' goals are. Along with understanding their clients' goals is making sure that we take the time to uncover as much information that we can get about our client. This data gathering is important and is probably one of the most important steps in order to do good planning. If we don't understand what our clients, you know, assets are, what their liabilities are, how things are owned, what their tax, situation looks like, all of this is important. Dig, 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 dig. Understand what the clients, where they're at, and sometimes, the client may not have that information ready available. Take the time to get it right so that you can do that future planning for them. Once you have all of this, now start moving forward on the planning. There again, I talk about all of these future, tax law changes, all these outside things. Now, one of the things that we have right now is we know that in January of 2026, the Trump tax cuts expire. Now that's got people, if their estates, going to be over 13, 14 million, now they're going to have an estate tax problem in 2026. We're going to have some changes in the income tax laws. All of these things are, out there. Our clients are hearing about that. Sometimes we need to reassure them, even though the estate tax laws are changing, this may not affect you. This is, but as we talk to our clients and understand their goals and objectives, we can start, understanding what those outside influences might be that would affect their planning as well. as we get to this spot, now that we understand our client, we've understood, we can understand what their goals and objectives are. We understand, we've been digging to get that, all of that quantitative information out of them, tax returns, financial statements, ownership documents, fair market valuations. Once we have all of that, now we can go to our toolbox. And as we go to our toolbox to start, understanding what our client could do, now we start looking at this list of potential tools that are sitting in that toolbox. All of these strategies, and this isn't an exhaustive list, are just things that might help our client. Now, the more you understand about all of these tools and how they interact with each other, will allow you to do better planning for your client. Because if you pull one tool out, that may affect another tool. So all of these strategies come together, and we're using all of these strategies and have these available so we can start helping our clients build a plan. And I like thinking of building our client's plan of, very similar to building a house. When we start, if we want to build a house today, we're not going to go out and, at the very first step and, buy a shovel, buy a hammer, get some 2x4s and nails and start putting up this nice, wonderful house. We're going to step back and we're going to create a blueprint. And think about that blueprint for that house. What is that going to be? Well, first of all, the architect's going to take the time to understand the client. What are they trying to build? Is this their dream home or is this a tract home? Is this their dream home or is this an apartment, a duplex, a triplex, whatever it is? Think about all of that. Just like an architect has to understand their client, we have to understand our client. What are we trying to achieve? And if this is their plan for their family, for their future, for their business, we want to take the time to do it right. So think about that blueprint on a building. That blueprint's going to be designed down to the very, very absolute lowest detail. And those small details matter, just like it will in our client's legacy plan. In our client's legacy plan, we're going to outline what are their goals and objectives. We're going to outline what tools we need. The other part that we're going to do in this blueprint is start putting in a timeline. So if you came to your client and said, okay, we need to form, irrevocable trusts with SLAP provisions. We need to, have dynasty provisions. We have to have your revocable trust done. We've got to buy life insurance. You need a new retirement plan. You need long-term care to cover those, issues. All of a sudden, our client's overwhelmed. And to create that feeling of being overwhelmed, there again, go back to that roadmap that we're creating. We're going to take this and say, okay, here's the overall plan. This is what we're going to build for you. But with this blueprint now, we're going to start taking this in steps. Step one. Once we get step one done, step two, then step three. We're also going to hire subcontractors, just like we would for building this house. You aren't going to probably do the wills and trusts and whatever legal documents need to be done. That's why we bring in the attorney. You may or may not manage money. So if we have investment accounts, either you're doing it or we bring in a financial advisor for that. If you're doing the life insurance, the long-term care, everybody steps in as a subcontractor, as an expert to make sure this implementation's right. Because if we build this plan for our client, we've created the blueprint for them, that doesn't mean anything unless it's implemented. So the goal that we have with our client as we're building this plan for them is understand who they are, understand what they're trying to accomplish, and help build that plan and that roadmap out for them so they know how this is going to be implemented. Then we have the review and revise process throughout their lifetime to make sure this plan works for them over their whole life expectancy. I appreciate everybody getting on. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. If not, we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.